Chapter 3. Native and Indigenous Fasting Rituals. Fasting holds deep spiritual significance within many Native and Indigenous cultures around the world. Unlike in organized religions where fasting is often tied to prescribed rituals and doctrines, fasting in these traditions is more intimately connected with nature, personal growth, and a deep relationship with the spiritual world. For Indigenous peoples, fasting is often part of rites of passage, quests for visions, healing practices, and ceremonies meant to connect the individual with the land, ancestors, and the spiritual realm. Among Native American tribes, fasting plays a central role in the vision quest, a sacred journey that young people, primarily men, undertake as a rite of passage into adulthood. The vision quest involves spending days in isolation, typically in a remote, natural setting, while abstaining from food and often water. During this time, the individual prays, meditates, and seeks guidance or visions from the spirits or ancestors. Fasting is believed to purify the body and open the mind to receiving spiritual messages. The deprivation of food and the stillness of nature strip away distractions, allowing for profound personal and spiritual insights. For many tribes, the vision quest serves as a way to find one's purpose, identity, or direction in life, marking the transition from childhood to adulthood. In addition to vision quests, fasting is woven into other ceremonies and practices within Native American cultures. Among the Lakota people, fasting is a key element of the Hanbalitzea, which translates to crying for a vision. This ritual, much like the vision quest, is a time of solitude and prayer in the wilderness. Through fasting, participants clear themselves of physical needs to focus entirely on the spiritual. It is believed that by foregoing the body's demands, one can connect more deeply with the Great Spirit, ancestors, and the natural world. Such fasts are usually accompanied by sacred rituals, including the use of prayer ties, sacred pipes, and sweat lodges, further intensifying the spiritual connection sought during the fast. Similarly, the Ojibwe and other tribes have long used fasting in spiritual pursuits, including ceremonies related to healing, purification, and preparation for major life events. In these cultures, fasting is often undertaken as a way to ask for guidance or blessings from the spirits. For example, when seeking a cure for illness or preparing for a significant community role such as a healer or warrior, fasting is used to cleanse both the body and spirit, creating space for divine wisdom and healing energy to enter. In this way, fasting serves not only the individual, but also the community, as those who fast and seek visions often return with insights meant to benefit the larger group. Fasting is also a significant aspect of many Indigenous peoples' relationship with nature. In traditional beliefs, humans are not separate from nature, but rather deeply interconnected with it. By fasting, individuals humble themselves and acknowledge their dependence on the natural world. The lack of food, often gathered directly from the land, reminds fasters of their vulnerability and the need to live in harmony with their environment. Some indigenous fasting practices are tied to seasonal cycles, particularly during planting or harvesting times, to honor the earth's abundance and express gratitude for the sustenance it provides. These fasts reinforce a sense of reciprocity between the people and the land, where humans act as stewards rather than dominators of nature. Outside of North America, similar fasting traditions can be found among indigenous cultures worldwide. In parts of Africa, fasting plays an important role in connecting with the ancestors and spirits of the land. For example, among the Zulu people, fasting is often practiced before major ceremonial events, such as rites of initiation or the installation of a new leader. By fasting, individuals or entire communities demonstrate their humility and readiness to receive guidance from the ancestors. In the Amazon, certain tribes incorporate fasting into ayahuasca ceremonies, where abstaining from food and sometimes salt or meat is a way to cleanse the body before undergoing the intense spiritual journey induced by the sacred plant. For many indigenous peoples, fasting is inseparable from their understanding of health and healing. Unlike in modern medicine, where fasting is often viewed purely in terms of physical benefits, indigenous fasting traditions see the practice as a way to restore balance to the body, mind, and spirit. Illness is often understood as a disruption of harmony, either within the individual or between the individual and the natural or spiritual world. By fasting, the person opens themselves up to healing energies, whether through prayer, the guidance of ancestors, or the cleansing forces of nature. The process of fasting, in this sense, was less about physical detoxification and more about spiritual realignment. What sets indigenous fasting rituals apart from many modern approaches is their holistic nature. Fasting is not done solely for personal benefit, but is deeply rooted in the well-being of the community and the environment, whether it's a young person seeking their purpose on a vision quest, a healer fasting before performing a sacred duty, or an entire community abstaining to honor the earth's cycles. Fasting in these cultures is a communal and relational act. It reflects a worldview in which the spiritual, physical, and natural realms are interconnected, and fasting serves as a bridge between them. In essence, indigenous fasting rituals are a profound expression of the interconnectedness of life. Through abstaining from food, individuals not only purify their bodies, but also align themselves more closely with the forces that govern life: nature, spirit, and community. These practices remind us that fasting is far more than a physical act. It is a journey of humility, reflection, and connection that transcends the individual and touches the deepest aspects of human experience.